At Total Pharmacy Care, we fill your prescriptions and answer any questions about your medications. No distractions and no long lines. Tell your doctor to send your prescriptions to Total Pharmacy Care. Welcome back to another episode of the Bank On It podcast, episode number 32. Shout out to Jamal Anderson, the Dirty Bird.
You just blew my mind. Yeah. There was no way I thought anybody was doing anything.
Is that
but
what
magic.
you were going to do?
No. The one and only Magic Johnson. Like, who made 32 famous?
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like I would go a different way. You could have done Kevin McKellar,
I was looking fastball. You just broke me off that curve.
Throwing the curve. Anyway, welcome back. Joined, as always, by Randy White, Corey Vance behind the cameras. And we would like to say thank you to our sponsors, the city of Pikeville. Go check out their website at www.visitpikeville.com.
Also, we are brought to you by Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. If you're looking for quality care for loved ones, look no further than Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. Both facilities treat your loved ones with care and respect. They offer therapy, daily activities, exquisite cuisine, and home-like settings to make your family members feel at home. Call to schedule an appointment today. At Cedar Creek, call Jessica Thacker at 432-8243, and at Good Shepherd, call 456-8725. Caring for your loved ones is what we do best.
Yeah, man, and listen, right now, it's knee-deep in baseball and knee-deep in softball.
Yeah, things kind of started a little bit different this year. Usually baseball and softball both start on Memorial Day. You have all the first round stuff. Baseball started on Saturday because they got the semi-state start this coming Saturday, right. So they had to get them in a little early. So 15th Region's championship is set for tonight, Tuesday night. Is Johnson Central and Lawrence County. Look at the records. Both of them over 30 wins this season, have been the two best teams all season, and it's kind of played out that way.
Yeah.
And last night, Lawrence and Pikeville were playing each other, and Pikeville made a run late and cut it to 6-4, but Lawrence held them off. But shout out to Pikeville. That was a young team who put up a good fight last night. Johnson Central, they knocked off Belfry last night. It was Belfry played well early on, and then they kind of
It's pretty much chalk in the 15th region.
Yeah, it's pretty much chalk. And then the 14th, I covered that on Saturday. I went up there and watched Hazard just steamroll Jackson City. This Hazard team, they are fun to watch. 17-1 over Jackson City. They won again last night over Estill County, 10-3, and then tonight they're going to face Breathitt County in the championship. Which Breathitt County getting to the championship is, a lot of people thought Saturday when they played Prairie Central would beat them, and it'd be a Perry Hazard and Estill's. Breathitt's kind of kept that momentum going, and they rolled it into the championship. So you never know what can happen this time of year. Yesterday, all the first round softball stuff started. Early on, the first game in the 15th, you had Pike Central knocking off Paintsville 3-1, and then Shelby Valley, who's been playing great lately, knocked off Lawrence County 7-6. And a lot of people thought, Lawrence County should go to that championship game, but Shelby Valley showed, hey, different season, nothing matters, regular season don't matter. And then in the last the two games I covered last night in the 15th, Pikeville held off Belfry 4-3. Pikeville jumped out 4-0. Belfry put up 3 in I think the top of the 5th or the top of the 6th. Top of the 6th, and Pikeville, you got to give them credit. Emily Ford came up with some big strikeouts when she needed it, and got Pikeville the win. And then Johnson Central, they outpowered Floyd Central 10-0. So Pike Central, Shelby Valley tonight, Pikeville, Johnson Central tonight. So really interesting stuff there in the 15th, and over in the 14th, Perry Central girls, they picked up a 9-1 win over Knott County. Estill County knocked off Jackson 5-3. Wolf 10-1 over Hazard, and Letcher Central 15-1 over.
A lot of runs.
Yeah, Breathitt or Powell County, excuse me. But yeah, so we got a lot of good softball and baseball going on. The championships. Get out there if you're watching it. This will be out tomorrow. But these semi-states are coming up. Softball finals are going to be tomorrow night. A lot of good action. So.
Yeah, and these guys will have, as always, everything covered wall-to-wall, baseball and softball. So stick around and check out some of the highlights from the tournament.
jump on them early, make sure we have good pitch selection. You know, Lily is a great pitcher, but we just wanted to make her work, and that's what we done. We got runners on, and we had a huge first inning. And Jenna Jones with a clutch hit, and then Atkins came up and got another RBI for us. So it was a great first inning. Emily Ford is just her presence. She can work very well under pressure and get the outs when we need them. She got 11 strikeouts, which every one of them were huge. And you know, she got the MVP of the tournament, and I think it was well deserved. She works hard, and it pays off in every game that she pitches for us. That was clutch. You know, after our first big inning, we had our bats got a little stale until the 6th inning, and then, you know, they scored. It was 4-2, so that was big for us, for Kendall to get the home run and give us a little cushion going into the 7th inning and having a little more to work with, you know, not being as much under pressure, but getting those runs really helped us out. We always have to find a way, and we just really try not to play the jersey or play the name. We come out and play our best every single game, and that's what we have to do. And our goal is to win the regional title, and we're going to keep working until we win that. So we're excited. We're just going to keep working hard.
All right, man, we got something a little bit different that we're not used to seeing, but I think it's something pretty cool that is giving, number one, some kids that may not usually get a spotlight put on them and giving them a chance to go on to the next level and do this in college, and that's bass fishing.
Yeah, and, we've had some stories on Pike Central's bass fishing team. Johnson Central's got one, Perry. But, also over in Mingo County, they've got a community bass fishing team. A kid by the name of Dakota Vance started this community thing, and it's for high school kids. And, it's kind of taken off over there. And our reporter Josh Blankenship sat down with Dakota Vance and had a really interesting story in their paper last week in the Mingo Messenger. And here's this story right here if you want to watch the interview and check this out. It's very interesting and kind of gives you a new light on some of the other things going on in the sporting world around the area.
Yeah, stick around, check out the interview. And
my name's Dakota Vance.
My name's Alex Vance.
And we are with the Tug Valley Community Fishing Club for high school. A lot of dedication, hard work. We go out here and several days before practicing up for the tournaments, studying the lakes and what the pattern is for the fish bite. It takes time. And anybody in the high schools around here where it is a community team, they can. It all kind of started my 10th grade year, just out of my love for fishing. I always knew there was high school tournaments and stuff, but never really looked seriously into it until my uncle kind of got my attention when he had first started researching it. And from there, I got the main guy's name, which is Dana Brown from West Virginia Bass Nation. And it was pretty easy selling from there. Got the contracts filled out and everything, and we was good to go. Well, with the school, we took it there. They was honestly really excited about it there at first. Once they realized, a fishing club wouldn't be that bad. Hopefully, keeping a little bit of extra kids out of trouble and stuff like that.
Right.
And as time went on, we went and we fished our first tournament, and then they realized, there was a couple boats there. It was a pretty big tournament. I think there was like 70 boats out on the Canal River in Charleston. So once they realized that it was kind of crowded, there was a risk for a wreck, and all the big expensive equipment that could be broke. kids getting hurt in a wreck, obviously they don't want to be liable for that, and they didn't like the idea of them being liable. So they kind of backed us away. The fishing club per se was still at Tug Valley, but there was no tournaments that Tug Valley would really take part in, Tug Valley High School anyways. Well, honestly, I graduate this year. I'm a senior, so I do hope for it to continue on for Alex and some of the other ones that are coming up. Like I know some 7th and 8th graders from Kermit that do enjoy fishing and they love it with a passion. So I'd love to see them be able to get up in high school and start competing in these tournaments and just kind of keep it going for the community.
Yes, I'd have to find me a new partner, help me have a good fishing partner, knows what they're doing, not just go out here and log gag around, help me to win some tournaments and make it back to nationals again.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Who's the better fisherman between the two of you?
I catch most fish, but he catch the big ones. That's what counts in the tournaments.
You gotta say, though, quality over quantity all day.
And, man, we got the NBA Finals matchup set. A little bit of an upset, at least in my mind anyway, with the Raptors coming out of the Eastern Conference. Really, after the first 2 games, kind of steamrolled the Bucks.
Yeah, last week when we did this episode, if you noticed, Bucks were up 2-1, and we thought that series is pretty much over the way the Bucks were playing. Boy, were we wrong.
Yeah, we were all in on the Bucks, which, they had the best record in the regular season. They had looked really, which I know, they played well in the playoffs, but they kind of handled the Raptors, early in the series. The Raptors didn't get their first win until Game 3, right? The Bucks won the first 2 games of that series. So, they were looking like they were going to be the team to move on. Now, just go to show you, no matter what level you're on, you throw the regular season records out the window when it comes to playoff times. But credit to the Raptors, and it's the first time ever the finals be played in Canada, so that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Maybe gives Kawhi a little incentive to stay around in Toronto, but who knows?
Who knows? With that. But speaking of Kawhi, the defensive effort he put in on Giannis is incredible. Giannis was steamrolling them, doing what he wanted those first 2 games. Kawhi kind of took it upon himself to say, hey, this is not going to happen this way, not on my watch. And, the rest of the guys around him stepped up as well. Siakam, Lowry, Gasol, just the list goes on. Everybody stepped up, and it was a total team effort. I think, the first 2 games, it was the opposite, where Giannis's team was playing, and then the last 4, it was just a total role reversal.
Yeah, and it seemed pretty clear to me just watching it that Kawhi didn't look quite 100%, which, yeah, I know basically nobody's 100% at this point in the season, but Kawhi didn't look like the Kawhi that we had been accustomed to seeing, and then what we saw the rest of the series where, I mean, he was just game to guard a player like Giannis, who generally is unstoppable, but Kawhi was up for the task. And the team played good team defense.
You know, I think people have kind of known how good Kawhi is, but I think he's just stepped it up to another level to where, you know, this guy is one of the top players in the world right now. I mean, offensively, defensively, the guy's next level.
He's definitely a guy you want to have on your team. Now, the question is, do they stand a chance to, number one, beat the Warriors? And I think what a lot of people are asking, do they even stand a chance to take a game from the Warriors?
That to me, I don't think they're going to beat the Warriors. They might not get swept, but if the Warriors are keep playing the way they have, that offense is so fluid.
And maybe getting Boogie and KD back.
And even if they don't, I mean, I don't know if it matters the way Clay and Steph are playing.
Yeah, and, you know, the funny thing about it is, and I've heard a lot of guys point it out, Steph, Clay, Draymond, they all seem to play a little bit better when KD's not in there. Now, and it just goes to show you how huge of a step back Steph takes when KD's in there. He really, for a superstar, really just kind of lets KD be the guy, which he's, you know, probably the best player in the world. But
yeah, and you know, the thing about that, too, is if you're looking at as a defensive standpoint from Toronto, Kawhi can't guard everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he can't guard everybody on a perimeter. I mean, you see, Siakam can give somebody some trouble here and there, but how are you going to stop that offense? I just don't I don't understand how anybody's going to stop that offense right now.
Yeah, it seems unlikely, and obviously the Warriors are going to be the heavy favorite coming into this. My gut tells me the Raptors will get at least one game, if not two. I'd love to see this go to 7 games. I just think the enthusiasm, the home court advantage in both places is going to be real. You know, the fans in Toronto are going to be over the moon to have the NBA Finals there for the first time ever.
That is a loud stadium anyway. So, I mean, it's going to get turned up another notch, I believe. It's going to be interesting. I mean, we didn't know if Toronto could beat Milwaukee. So, I mean, they're used to that underdog role. You know, they thrive in it. They flourish in it. So, once again, they're going to be the heavy underdogs. I mean, I would imagine, I haven't seen any lines, but I would imagine they're the heavy underdog.
Yeah, they're going to be the heavy underdog, but I mean, just gut instinct. Do they get swept?
I don't think they get swept. I'm going to say they win 1, maybe 2.
Yeah, I don't think they get swept either. I think they come out, and I would love to see this thing go to 7 games just from a fan's perspective and having, you know, a fun series to watch. So it'd be great to see this thing go 7 games. So we're going to have a lot more NBA to talk about in the coming weeks, and we'll definitely be into that. All right, thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Bank On It podcast. We want to say thank you to our sponsors, Total Pharmacy Care, Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek, and Good Shepherd at Phelps, and the beautiful city of Pikeville you see right behind us. Check them out at their website, www.visitpikeville.com, and join us next week for another episode of Bank On It Podcast. Thanks.